and welcome to milascryptomining.dk. I have got a lot of heat for my last video because I'm using the S word, and people are like, don't use that word. And it have been a lot of people who was interested to buy, and they got not, I mean, they bought right after we spoke, but even the developer was like, why are you using that word? And I'm not afraid to say that word. That's the thing, right? Because I it's all about the people and the persons. And now I'm gonna explain you how it works. Before money, right, which was developed in England, by the way, we could use gold or we could bring something valuable. So before everything, right, before everything, people lived in the village, and in the village there were animals they could eat, and there were food they could eat, and they had eggs and milk and stuff which they could trade with the traders who had salt and spices, and in that way you could have almost everything. Not like the supermarket today, but you could trade, and you had bread and stuff which would get old, which you needed all the time, right? So the traders, they could earn money and trade and eat, right? But that was not why they made the money, because the traders, Købmænd, the travelers, right? They already had enough, right? They had enough to go traveling, right? They could sell a sword or whatever. There was many opportunities. But then it got more common to travel, right? And when it started to be more common to travel, they got something metals, rare metal that could not just be found around, right? And they could use this as some kind of currency. And then later gold and also diamonds, but also salt have been used for as money, real salt. People who live far away from the ocean cannot just go. I know it's easy to get salt, right? But if you don't live close to the ocean and you don't have a car or helicopter, it's hard to get salt. So it was money at that time, right? Then what people realized was, if they go to someplace else, then they need to compensate that they're eating the other people's food, right? They want something back, right? Why people are coming and eating their food, right? So they could give them salt or some money, and then the king put the name to the money and made some standards, right? Then eventually they started started banking in England somewhere, and that was interesting. And then they made some rules, right? Now you have to think about that. Now we go to this time we live in, right? The rules, I mean, money, first of all, we just clarified it's a scam. It's like exchange of eating someone else's food, right? Then you have to save, and you can put them into value, and you can give them in a way so you don't have to carry your own food around your own garden, right? You don't need to bring the goat in a rope so you can eat it when you get hungry, because there's already food where you arrive. You just need to compensate the people, right? All right, so here we are. And the next thing I want to tell you, oh my God, is that the banking system, this thing you call the law, this thing you say is not a scam, right? People have to wake up. But the law is that the banks, they can lend out 19% of the money they get lent in, right? But why is that a problem? It's not a problem. Imagine if someone wants to go and borrow 20 years of salary and buy a house, right? In the cold countries where it's necessary to have a very expensive house to keep it warm in the winter time, right? It's 20 years of salary to have a house, just to build the house, not even the land, but just the house, right? So let's say 10 people, they go and borrow a million each, right? And then the bank now have 10 millions. Then they only need to keep 100,000, and then they can lend out the rest. That's a scam. But why is it functioning? It's functioning because people who go and buy a house for 20 years of salary, they don't come the next day and say, hey, we have the money now. Now we want our money back from the bank. No, it's not how it works, because now they have the house and they want to live there. They don't want the money back. They just want to pay back their debts, right? And the interest is the scam, right? And the inflation is the scam, right? But anyway, so therefore it works. The bank gets so many money in and they can lend out. And the king thinks that's a good idea for the country because then some people who have some good ideas, they can go and lend money even without nothing, and then they can pay it back, and then the land, the country can grow because of opportunities that comes with this, right? So therefore, the bank can lend out 19% of the money and are allowed to that they get borrowed from the people who, for example, won the house. They can give the people the money. How is it? And this money they need to have from somewhere. So if someone is giving them a million, they can take this million and they are only required to keep 10% because no one comes the next day and want their money back. It's simply not possible that they want that they have that kind of money, right? So that's a way to build a country. And you can say that's a scam or you can say that's not a scam. But that is how it works. Now let's switch the topic. Let's switch the topic to lottery. Did any of you who maybe think I shouldn't use the S word about coins, like, I mean, even I would say Bitcoin is in one way a scam, right? The Bitcoin itself, I mean, what do you expect? But now it have 2 trillion inside it, right? So no one can destroy it just like that, right? And if people are super rich, they wouldn't do it, right? So it's just like now it's safe. Now we think it's safe. Even the USD, even the countries from have you ever been traveling in third world countries? I mean, their money. Sometimes you need a backpack to you don't have big enough pocket to carry 200 euro, right? That's inflation. So are money scams? The paper money, the crypto money? What is real here, right? We have to wake up from the matrix. We have to understand what is real. So if any of you think that I shouldn't use that word, then just ask yourself, did you ever think about or actually do buy a scratcher? You know, you're 100% scammed. You get nothing. Maybe you get €2 back, which you just bought for, or 10, and then you feel lucky. So few people win, right? Actually, if you invest into a bigger coin like Ethereum or Dogecoin or Bitcoin, right? Then you have a safety because the pool, the amount of money is so amazingly big that you can kind of realize, oh, it's going down, and then you only lose like almost nothing, right? Because it's there's so many money, and most people work and want to put more money inside, right? So it's safe, right? And compared to the lottery, right? I mean, we always hear about it when it happened because it's so rare. It's even in the newspaper if it happened, right? And and uh, and imagine that you have a coin, a real Bitcoin, which is not a Bitcoin, but with is actually a Bitcoin, but with another name and another blockchain and stuff. And you're so few people in there that you can actually manipulate it with 1,000 euro or 100 euro, right? Then all you need to do is that you have to buy some, and then you need to go to a friend, right? And say, hey, I just bought for 10 euro of this coin. Do you also want to buy? I think it's a great coin. Boom. And then when it's so cheap as Arc is, right? Then you maybe buy for 10 euro, and then when your friend buy, you have 15 euro, right? So now who is the scammer? It's you, right? If you now say, hey, now I have 15 euro, now I take all my money out, then you're scamming your friend who you just told to buy the coin, right? That's why we in Arc like only to take half of what we put in out, because then it's growing more naturally, right? And it stays more stable. But the money need to go in, that's for sure, and a little bit disappear in fees. And if someone is very hungry, they will of course take out what they need, right? And that's why the world start to like crypto, right? Because those who really need, they can be more greedy, and those who don't need, they can manipulate the market with their money. They can literally, I mean, if you have, let's say we take a small coin as Arc, and someone comes and match the amount of money it's worth, right? Then it's the rich people who can come and pump and dump and destroy and take from the poor, right? So it gives the power to the wealthy. But the wealthy people normally, I don't know what to say about this. Now we maybe go too far, but I think it's 1,000 times better than the lottery. And now you have to know something else. The people that's inside this coin, the developers, we have some ideas for the world. We're not gamers sitting in front of the computer just trying to make money for a nice car. You know, we had nice cars and we have nice cars, and it's the values and the way we trade that actually matter, right? Because we want the coin to grow, and you can read more about that or hear more about that in another video. It's long enough. We want to connect communities. We want people to go out of the matrix. We want people to understand the opportunities that comes when we use cryptocurrency. When we can share money in a way that's just more universal, right? And where everyone can gain, and there's no bank or nothing that's just regulating everything, and those who are unemployed, for example, putting money into planting trees, they can maybe do some trading with the coins, right? Then when it goes up, they can sell a little bit, right? And when it's down, they put a little bit in. And then when it goes up again, they have a little bit more money, and then they can go and buy some milk and cigarettes and be happy, you know. That's the opportunity with the coin. If they sell everything, right, and it goes up, what are they gonna do if it goes up more? Then they're out of the coin, right? So it's genius. It's straight up genius. And yeah, there's different kind of people. There's different kind of holders that own the coins, and there's different kind of coins, different visions, different lifestyles. And so I was speaking a lot about the Solana coins, the meme coins, and I promise you, that's uh, they make them just to get the money, right? It's not really like the Ark where we actually wanted to grow and protect the nature and the kids and help in Mexico and Africa, and we are in Portugal, we are in Denmark, we're just interconnected through this coins where we can actually share our wealth, in there, and those who are in need, they cannot take too much, because then if they sell everything because they're too greedy, they're out of the coin, right? So it's really a universal solution in a way. So never use the S word again. That was what I was told. So thank you for listening another time about our dear coin. And you can go and check out the Telegram group and the Facebook group where we're actually talking more about our vision if or when Ark becomes valuable enough that we are not restricted by the safety of the liquidity, but that we can actually start to do things. And one of the most exciting thing you will realize if you start to work with it is how much a low capital coins will rise when money goes inside it. It's like 4 times more, and then a little bit more, and then it's 4 times more worth, right? But of course, the same thing happens when you take the money out. But that's what makes it interesting, right? It's a little bit like money are changing hands when it's pumping and dumping, which we are not doing too much actually. So yeah, go and check it out yourself. It's better than the lottery. So if you hate scratchers and lottery, then I can take you serious. But and you love hard work every day into your old, then I understand you. But if you could buy a scratcher, then I don't want to hear anything about the S word, about Ark. Thank you very much, and have a nice day, and thank you for listening. See you.